Aloha, Richard Halverson here. This is ICS321, and today I'd like to get you started on assignment 2. So I've got assignment 2 open up right here, and as you can see, the all 5 of these questions have to do with decomposing, creating a database, and decomposing uh, a a file or a relation or a table that is in most of the time just first normal form, sometimes not even second normal form most of the time, and then converting that into uh, decomposing that into more tables that are of a higher normal form that solve the problem of anomalies, which can be inserted into these tables if they are left the way they are. So let's start with the first one here. Um, we have this familiar suppliers parts database here. It's a table that's made up of joining up the tables uh, in our original database into a table like this, which is not even in second normal form, and decomposing it back. So with the same data and all. Um, so let's get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is create a database on the server named that. So I've got my cPanel open up here, and I'm going to click on MySQL databases. And I'm going to create a new database named this. So I'm just going to copy this and paste that in here. And you got to make sure there's no spaces or anything. Create the database. All right. So now we have this database here that's created. So let's go to phpMyAdmin. And here we are. We've got the database here. And we can see it's empty. So to create a table, to import this table into this database, there's several ways we can do it. One way, which is the way I like when we're given the data like this, is to first of all copy the table, copy, and let's open up an Excel. And just a plain workbook here. And we can make this a little bit bigger. And so we do a right click and a paste, and let's paste this matching destination formatting. Let's not keep the source formatting. And so here's our table. And then what I'd like to do is I'd like to create it, I'd like to convert it into a format that can be imported directly into the database. So if we go back to the database here and we're going to import, we can import in these formats. And so I'm going to choose a CSV, except for it has an option where you can, instead of having it be comma separated, it can be tab separated. So in other words, you can upload a tab delimited spreadsheet using the CSV option here. So I'm going to take my spreadsheet that I just pasted into Excel here, and I'm going to copy it back out again. Copy, and I'm going to open up a text editor. I like Notepad++, paste it into here, and this is comma separated. These are tabs, I'm sorry, these are tab separated. So the columns are tab separated. And so this is fine. So let's save this, save as, and I'm just going to name it, put it on my desktop, name it q1.csv. How's that? The reason I gave it a CSV extension is so then over here, when I'm importing, I can just click Browse and go to my desktop, and it appears right there, and open it up, and it automatically sets it to CSV. So it knows it's a CSV file. right down here where we specify the columns separated, we aren't going to use a comma. Instead, we're going to use a \T or tab. And then this other one here, we're going to check this box. The first line of the file contains the column names, right? First line of the file contains the column names, and so we're going to use those. And so now we can just click Go. And when we click on Table here, we see here's our table. Very good. It's called Table Space 1. Let's change the name of that to Original. And make sure that it is INNODB. Click Go. Now, we're renaming the table. We aren't doing any of these other things. There's lots of things you can do in this Operations tab here. We are simply renaming the table here. All right, and making it INNODB. All right, so here we are. Now we have got this table called Original. Let's go through and do this second part here now, where we choose appropriate field types and sizes for each field, and then make sure we specify the primary key correctly. Okay, so let's do that part. So here we are. Click over to Structure. And let's make this SNO field be, right now it can only hold S0 through S9. Let's make it be able to store bigger numbers, bigger supplier numbers, 5 maybe. Let's give it a default of an empty string and make sure that it's never null. And for the name, let's make the supplier name be up to 25 as a fine number. We don't want it ever to be null, and the empty string can be the default. We should always have a default also. Next, the status. You remember it's a number, and let's say that the biggest number is 100, or let's say that we can have statuses above 100. So but not 1,000. Let's say 3 digits is the most, and we can make the default be 0 and not null. Let's set the city to be up to 25. Varchar 25 works, and never null. For the part number, let's say we can have much bigger parts, let's say 10. Never null. Let's say that the part name can be as big as 25 characters. Not null. Let's make the color be, I don't know, how many characters do we need to describe a color? Something reasonable. And the weight, let's make the weight be able to be a decimal number up to 3 digits to the right of the decimal point. That's a lot. Let's say it can have up to 9 positions, including not including the decimal point, and have it be 3 digits to the right of the decimal point. It's a decimal number, and it can be default of 0. It'll be 0.00 whatever, and never null. And let's make the city can be up to 25 characters. And let's say that the quantity can be an integer, always a whole number. Let's just take the length maximum off of it, so it can just be a 32-bit integer, which can be up to the end up being like a level. It's not null. And so it can be, its defaults to 11 decimal digits. Okay, so So that's this, and then we also want to take a look at what we should use as the primary key. Now, this, of course, has information on both suppliers and parts. This SPQTY is dependent upon both the supplier who's supplying this shipment and the part number of the part that the supplier is shipping. So we need to have SNO and PNO be the primary key, because SPQTY quantity depends on both the supplier number and the part number. The supplier name, supplier status, and supplier city only depend on the supplier number. It does not at all depend on the part number. And the part name, the part color, the part weight, and the part city all depend on the part number. It doesn't have anything to do with the supplier at that point. So we have here that we have these three fields depending on only part of the primary key, and we have these four fields here depending on only part of the primary key. So because we have fields that depend on only part of the primary key, this table does not even qualify for second normal form. For it to be second normal form, it cannot have any fields, any non-key fields, depending on only part of the primary key field. So anyway, so that's why we're going to decompose this. But in the meantime, let's go back and set our primary key. So it's going to be SNO and PNO, and I can write down here, click on primary, and it accepted it. If it would not have worked, it would not have accepted it. And the reason it accepted it is because every record can be, it has a unique pair S1, P1. All right, so now we have the structure that's fully defined, and these field names and key fields and so on can remain the same when we decompose. So we're going to decompose it down into three tables that are all in B, C, and F. So there's several ways we can do this. I'm going to choose to do it this way. I'm going to first create the three tables, and they will be empty. And then I'm going to use insert select, combination insert select statement to populate the three tables using projections. So okay, so so I'm in original here. I'm going to click on operations, and I'm going to make my three tables here just from original. Okay, so I'm going to copy just the structure. I'm going to create my S table as just the structure of this. Okay, and there's an S there now. And I'm going to create a P table that has the same structure. My strategy is to create these tables and then go and delete out the fields I don't need. So here's a P table, just the structure. And there it is. And one more, I'm going to create an SP table, just the structure. All right, so now I've got a P table with nothing in it, an S table, and an SP table, all the same. So let's start with the S table. Click on structure, and we've got all these fields here and these keys. We only need the first four, so let's click on the remaining 6 and just drop them. So all that's going to remain is the S fields. So drop all these, and now we've got the structure of the supplier table. All right. So and let's do the same thing for P. I do not need this, and I do not need this. So let me drop those. This is for P. And lastly, for SP, I actually only need, I do not need let's see, I want to delete all but this one and this one and this one. So I only want SNO, PNO, and SPQTY. I do not need any of the other ones. So I'm going to drop all the rest of them but those three and click yes. And now I've got my structure for SP. Okay, now all I have to do is populate. So let's go back to original. If I do select S, oh, I don't need sorting. If I do select SNO, SName, SStatus, SCity, if I just do that, let me make this a little bigger, then I get this. However, this is not a relation. So what I need to do is do this. I need to make this be distinct. I need to put that distinct keyword there. And now when I click go, I get a nice rel var. So that's what I want to populate S with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this line and I'm going to say insert into S space. Insert this into S. So when I click go, it inserted 4 rows. And now when I click on S, now it's populated. And when I look at the structure, it's got the key values and they're all, the types are all there. Okay, let's do the same thing for P. I need to select PNO, P name, P color, P weight, and P city. Oops. From original, and I don't need to order it. What does this look like? And again, we've got more than one. We've got more than one peak. So this is not going to be a. This is not a relation. Look, there's 3 P2s or 4. There's 4 P2s. Anyway, so let's do a distinct. Edit, distinct, and go. And there's a nice rel var. So let us just do insert into P. Go. And 6 rows were inserted. And there we go. The last one is we need to, we've got nothing in SP. Really what we want to do here is now we don't really need to do distinct because, you know, we could just take this table and delete the columns that we wanted to. But let's be consistent here. Let's just do SNO, PNO, SPQTY, and that's just going to be this, and it'll already be a rel var because the original table has got these as primary keys. If you want to be consistent, though, we can put a distinct there, just out of habit. It's going to be the same number, 11. And so let's edit this, and let's do insert into SP space, and we go. And now our SP is populated. All right. Okay, so we've populated, we created. Oh, we got to do the SP. We've got SP going here. We got to put in the referential integrity things. We got to specify keys and indexes. We have to specify the foreign keys. So here we are. We're in SP, structure of SP. We click on relation view, and we say that this constraint name will be filled in by you know, if you don't put anything in there, then it'll fill something in there for you. We want to link SNO in this database to table S, the SNO field. So and then we want to add a constraint down here, and this one's going to be PNO to the same database, table P, and it's going to be linked to PNO. And restrict is fine. On delete, on update, restrict. That just means that actually, we should set them to cascade. We should set these to cascade. And what this does is this allows the user to let's not cascade the updates. Cascading the updates would mean that if we decided to delete a record out of SP, if we decide to delete a record if we decide to delete a supplier, it will automatically delete any records in SP that involve that supplier. And we probably don't want that. We don't want to delete a supplier while they still have a supply shipment. So let's restrict the update. Wait a minute. I got these reversed. Let's restrict the delete and let's cascade the update. Let's restrict the delete and cascade the update. What cascading the update simply means is if we should happen to change the primary, if we decide to change the SNO field, let's say we decide to redesignate a supplier and give that supplier a different SNO, then that change will cascade up to any of the same supplier in SP. So that takes care of it for us. So this is probably the best way, I think, to set these things. For deleting, we don't want to delete any suppliers if they have a supply and shipment. But if we want to change the supplier number, or we want to change the part number, we want to cascade that change up to any SP records that have that same part number or supplier number. So let's save this. And now we are done with the stat. Okay, now the last thing we need to do is we need to create a view named view original that produces back the same. Well, to produce the same, to produce this back again, we just simply need to go select from S natural join SP natural join P. That will give us back the original. There it is, 11 rows, and these are all the records back again. All the records and all the tables back again. This is the same as this. How do we know? I can do let's create the view first. Okay, so this is the select statement that I want to execute when I execute the view. So how do you create a view? Let's just I know how to do it, but let's do MySQL create view, and it looks something like this. Create view name. This create view name as, and then the select statement. So I'm just going to copy this here, and then the select statements after that. Copy. Get rid of this. So right up here, I'm going to do a paste, and then we'll paste. There. Okay. So and I'm supposed to name it view underscore original. Right? Original. View underscore original. View underscore original. Okay. So create a view called view underscore original as this. So I'm just going to click go, and boom. Now let's go back to here, And we see now there's this fourth thing here. There's this view. And let's make it go over there. Let's go back over here and click on PHP My Admin again to refresh this whole page here. And we can see now on the left here we've got tables and we've got views. And we have a view here. So when we click on this original table, looks like that. And when we click on View Original, same thing. How do we know it's the same thing? Let's do a uh, select asterisk from View Original, Natural, Join, Original, and we should get the same thing. And we do. So this has got the same number of rows and columns. When you natural join them together, it's got the same number of rows and columns as when we just look at the view by itself. Got the same number of rows and columns as when we look at original by itself. And if you natural join two tables that are the same, you get the same table back again. All right, so that there should get you started with this, and I'm going to come back and record more videos on the other 4 questions. But right now, I just want to get this started, get this up for you, so you can take a look at it and get started on your assignment. All right, thanks for watching.